imagining the unimaginable, the beginning of everything. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered where it all came from? How did this vast universe filled with billions of galaxies, stars, and planets come to be? This is a question that has fascinated humans for centuries. We yearn to understand our place in the grand cosmic scheme. Our journey to answer this question begins with a concept so mind-boggling, so far removed from our everyday experience, that it seems almost impossible. It is the idea that the universe as we know it started from a point of unimaginable density and temperature. This point, smaller than even an atom, contained the seeds of everything we see around us. This idea, known as the Big Bang Theory, is the prevailing scientific explanation for the birth of the universe. It's a story that unfolds over billions of years, a cosmic drama of epic proportions. It's a story of expansion, cooling, and the formation of matter as we know it. The Big Bang. A tiny seed explodes with promise. Imagine, if you will, all of space and time compressed into a single point. This point, incredibly hot and dense, was filled with pure energy. Then, about 13.8 billion years ago, this point began to expand. This wasn't an explosion in the traditional sense, like a bomb going off in a pre-existing space. It was the expansion of space itself, an event beyond human comprehension. As this expansion occurred, the universe cooled, much like steam cooling and condensing into water. This cooling allowed energy to transform into matter. Following the famous equation E equals mc squared, tiny particles began to form, the building blocks of everything we see around us. These early particles were like a cosmic soup, a chaotic mix of energy and matter. Yet within this chaos, order began to emerge. The four fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the strong force, and the weak force, started to exert their influence. These forces, like invisible architects, would shape the universe into the complex and beautiful place it is today. Forces at play shaping the cosmic landscape. Imagine the four fundamental forces as artists, each with a unique set of tools. Gravity, the weakest but most far-reaching force, acts like a sculptor drawing matter together. It's what makes the planets orbit stars and stars cluster into galaxies. Then there's electromagnetism, the force responsible for light, electricity, and magnetism. Think of it as a painter, adding color and light to the universe. It's what allows us to see distant stars and galaxies. It's also what holds atoms together, forming the building blocks of matter. The strong force, as its name suggests, is incredibly powerful. It acts like a glue, holding the nuclei of atoms together. Without it, atoms would simply fall apart. The weak force, though less familiar, is crucial for processes like radioactive decay, which powers the cores of stars. These four forces, working in concert, sculpted the early universe. They transformed a hot, chaotic soup of particles into a more structured and organized system. As the universe continued to expand and cool, these forces laid the foundation for the formation of the first stars and galaxies. Section 4. From gas clouds to galaxies. The universe takes shape. Now imagine vast clouds of hydrogen and helium gas, remnants of the Big Bang drifting through the early universe. These clouds, drawn together by gravity, began to collapse in on themselves. As they contracted, they spun faster and faster, like a spinning figure skater pulling in their arms. This spinning motion, combined with gravity, shaped these gas clouds into giant disks. Within these swirling disks, denser regions of gas continued to collapse, eventually becoming hot enough to ignite nuclear fusion. This is the process where hydrogen atoms fuse together to form helium, releasing enormous amounts of energy in the process. These were the first stars, massive balls of burning gas that illuminated the early universe. These first stars lived short but brilliant lives, eventually exploding as supernovae. These explosions scattered heavy elements forged in the cores of stars throughout space. These elements would later become the building blocks of planets and eventually life itself. Over billions of years, this cycle of starbirth, death, and rebirth led to the formation of galaxies, vast collections of stars, gas, dust, and dark matter. These galaxies, like islands in the vast cosmic ocean, are still evolving, still shaped by the same fundamental forces that governed the universe's earliest moments.